As I've reflected on clinical training to be an effective counselor, I've had the privilege and opportunity to be in multiple training programs across the country. As I studied for my PhD in California and did multiple internships and clinical practica, then went to a postdoc in New York City, and did a fellowship for 3 years at the University of Rochester, and I practiced in Colorado and Seattle. So I've had a lot of clinical training and seen a lot of clinical programs train students. There is no clinical program that I've been aware of and have been a part of that can train students like the LIOS program does, in terms of its focus on the self as the therapist as the core instrument of change. So when that self becomes the primary instrument of change, and when it grows and develops and evolves in an imaginative way in T group, in a 2-year program, you come out far in advance of most any other student in any other clinical training program in this country in terms of the use of self, which, as Whitaker said, you use theory and technique until the self of the therapist shows up. Whitaker regarded that as the premium standard for effective therapy, the self of the therapist. So did Herb Yalom at Stanford in existential psychotherapy.
And you said something about like your belief that this really honing in on the skills of T group is one of the differentiators there.
Yeah, the skills of T group.
Taught in a unique way. It's a unique way, the inside-outside group.
Yeah. When you're, LIOS has not just a T group course. They have an immersion, which is different than just a course.
Right.
An immersion into T group, so that the self of the therapist marinates in the T group experience over and over again over the course of several years.
Yeah, 2 years.
And when you consider the definition of life as a network of relationships, and leaders who have written books on organizations say that all of life is really a network of relationships. So whatever profession you're in, whether it's counseling or OD work,
leaders,
leaders, or whatever profession you're in, and whatever role you have as a human being, you're always in networks of relationships. And there is no better training to be in a network of relationships, self and other, than the T group experience. Because you learn not only about yourself, but you learn about self in relationship with others, and then you learn about the group as a whole.
Yeah.
So the T group is a hologram in itself for all that you need to experience.
So it's kind of a hologram for every issue
for
that I have.
life.
It's a hologram for me to work through any issue that I have, because it'll all show up.
Yeah,
and
it is.
I think it's about the other, but really it's about me in relationship to this.
Yeah. It's always relational.
Yeah.
And that's why the T group is really a systemic model.
Yeah.
Because it thinks broadly, not individually.
Yeah.
It's not intra, it's inter.
Yeah, inter.
It's intra and inter, but it thinks about the whole. And so there's fundamental premises to the T group that don't exist in any other training program in this country.
Yep.
And it's this little program based in Seattle that had its life. It died, but now it's risen again on the day, 2 days before Easter.
There you go. Thank you, Tim Weber.